Alright, new weekly challenge. We are strolling into Terminus. Oh, let's skip it. This was definitely a highlight of the show. I think sort of end of season 4. Wasn't a long story arc, but my gosh, was this... I mean, it was just a classic. Really, really was. You remember that with cannibals and everything? Absolutely top class sort of storytelling and everything. Would have been nice to have spent more time, I guess, with those crazy baddies, but anyway, good time was had by all, except for the people who were eaten, obviously. Yeah, so we've been through this many times. It definitely gets the feeling across. I think for Terminus, that's something that's quite fun. It's like the fun snow-themed missions. You know, they got a strong identity. This feels definitely like when Rick and the crew were trapped in those containers. Yeah, and I think they were gassed or something, otherwise knocked out. But yeah, here we go. So pretty simple mission. You've got some armored stuff. After you close the first door, you're going to suddenly have some armored walkers and big things coming out. Hopefully it's not too much of a challenge when you just sort of, you know, doing those first couple of skips. So maybe you can get your tactics down. But I think it's a fairly small map, so having an assault character, at least until you get to the really late stages, is a good idea. It takes a couple of turns to close the door, so Glenn's ability, where he can normally interact with something and attack, that doesn't kick in. So, you know, if you're struggling, maybe try having a bruiser closing the door. You could always have Yumiko as the leader, have shooty characters, and they will actually shoot, even if they're closing the door, which is kind of crazy. But that's a really, really helpful tactic as well. No threat counter, so you can certainly take your time, but there's not many places to run on that mission. So definitely a mix of killing power and staying power. This one, we've got 6 turns to open a door. Yeah, and we've got to hold the line here. I mean, bruisers can do this. If you have a weapon that can attack 3 enemies, you know, 3 enemies in front of you, you could have 2 bruisers, and they could just hold this line, basically, just taking hit after hit after hit. When you're on those tougher difficulty settings, that might, you know, even bruisers might not survive that. Don't forget to use your supports, like Dog, who will slow down this tide. I think really having shooters, probably a good idea. They build up their charge quickly. You know, you can kill these guys, or maybe hunters with the harpoon gun. You know, because they can get multiple enemies, but they still cause a lot of damage. And they can still root any enemies that you can't kill. Hey, Lishu. Lishu's coming to help, so... you helping me commentate? You got some thoughts and insights? She's not being particularly useful. Okay, you just stay there and help me out then. Okay, what is next? Again, highly recommend skipping. I'm sure you know what that is, but just in case anybody doesn't. 8 gas, 1 mission, slightly increased difficulty, and you can complete a round instantly, so... pretty darn good, that. You should have Shiva. Always worth giving Shiva to the character who causes the most damage. She's not the most useful for support. I find that Dog kind of is, but there you go. You would have thought, like, reading what Shiva does, you'd think, oh wow, that's going to be a game changer, and it's kind of not. She doesn't really cause that much damage. We've got a threat counter, so perhaps using assault characters to do what I'm doing here. Great idea, but it will catch up with you eventually. What you might want to do is get that box dealt with as soon as possible. And then if you think you're going to struggle with these reinforcements, just give it a turn before you start opening the door, because you lose a character. Unless you've got Yumiko as the leader, and it's a shooty character opening the door, and then they will turn around and they will shoot with that firing line skill. So that's definitely another option. Small map, again, lots of enemies. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's definitely a mix between getting that volume of hitting power and that stopping power as well. I guess you could have a bruiser wall. Just chuck a load of bruisers in, you know, a couple of bruisers in there. Let them take the hits while the door gets opened. See how that works out for you. Could certainly get easy to be surrounded though, because it is a small map. Okay, what have we done? We've done 3. Hey. So I think the cat's actively trying to distract me here. Yay, Magagi tokens. Shine a light, get to the exit. Gonna need more tokens than that. This little group, by the way, is my farming group, so XP is hardest to come by, so Maggie is leading to get extra XP. Glenn, of course, is there because when he kills, you get supplies. And then Princess is just there just to help us barrel through it quickly, because she can wipe out multiple enemies all at once. So this is my farming team. I don't know if anybody has got something different that they like to use when they're just sort of maximizing those resources that they collect from a mission, but I found this works for me. Definitely. So this one, what can you say? It's a bit of a classic. You start off with some zombies on the map, and you've got to kill them so that you can escape. And it's pretty much that simple. There's a threat counter, so making noise can be risky. This is why I kind of like, I think it's the hunting bow, it might be the winter bow, I think it's the hunting bow. Causes tons and tons of damage, you get loads of charge points, and it also reduces threat when you kill something. There's plenty of scout weapons that do that as well. And if you've not toyed around with that trait, I recommend it. Really, really do. Okay. I've got double XP selected because I just bought that quickly because I needed to get rid of some supplies to get the XP. If you buy the double XP boost from the black market, of course, you get 2 million XP instead of 1, so it's well worth it. And of course, it just helps doing these missions too. The laundry, check the crates and get to the exit. This is one where we might actually use Glenn's ability to interact with things and then still have actions left over. Oh, this one's a tough one. Yeah, I remember this one. Oh boy. I think we might actually get an injury here. Nope. Thank goodness. That was a dodge. That was a really cheeky dodge. If I use yeah, let's get you out of the game basically. Whisperer's Mask, I found that to not be massively effective all the time, but my gosh, when it is, you really appreciate having it. That is for sure. Okay, I don't want to wake up that scary guy. This is I know that I've struggled with this mission before, because it doesn't take too long for that big guy to just be a threat. And it's a fairly small map, so you ain't got many places to hide. Still, getting there. That threat counter, I think, is the biggest thing. So I definitely recommend having characters who can reduce threat or don't make noise, because when you're playing this one and you just wind up with walkers just flooding in turn after turn, it's a nightmare. So I really recommend having something that can negate that threat from building up. Definitely. Nightmare mission when it's tough. Okay. Brilliant. 10 minutes, 438 stars. It's not bad. Dead's End, kill all walkers. Well, we just love these missions, don't we? So, kill all walkers. Just pick your favorite killers. The only thing is, you do have this limited visibility. This is kind of why I like to take ranged characters on this one. You might think, oh, well, ranged characters, the lack of visibility is going to, affect your ability. You can't shoot what you can't see. But at the same time, if you have close combat characters, they're running around blindly. They can quickly come face to face with an enemy that they just did not know was there. So I think ranged characters, stay back, be patient. There's no time limit. There's no threat counter. So stay on that back line. You can use Overwatch and you don't alert the other walkers. This one can seem very, very tough. This is a tough set of missions, definitely. But that's just what I would suggest. Stay ranged, stay out of the way. If you've got other tactics, other strategies, do let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, there we go. That is a quick run through of the missions that we will face as we wander into Terminus. They're quick. They tend to be quite small maps. They tend to have some interesting baddies, and they tend to be tough as well. So you're in for a challenge this week. As ever, thank you for watching.